Congressman, on the international front, Trump talking about 25% tariffs with Canada and Mexico. Meanwhile, talking about the Panama Canal over the weekend, news that Panama has agreed to facilitate and offer free passage to U.S. Navy ships through the Panama Canal following a visit from Marco Rubio over the weekend, agrees to end China's Panama Canal deal and to leave from China's 2017 Belt and Road Initiative. Here again, in layman's terms, for those of us that aren't studied in the subject of the Panama Canal, what does this mean?
It's a huge development. Understand that even though the Panama Canal was built by the United States and sits astride the country of Panama, the Chinese Communist Party was running it. And, of course, that's never a good thing to have your adversaries collecting information on you and really holding your future in the palm of their hands and your vitality. And that's exactly what's been going on for years and years at this point. And so I think what you're seeing is a realignment across the Western Hemisphere. You know, the Communist Party of China is working in South America, Central America. They are the new colonialists, and, of course, they seek the downfall of the United States of America. And in the past, both Republican and Democrat presidents have been willing to just say, well, okay, well, we don't love that, but they're a competitor, so we have to let them do that. We have to put up with it. No, we don't have to put up with it. It's dangerous. It's expensive. And President Trump is the first guy to come in and say, well, obviously we're not going to do that, right? It'd be like you having to pay somebody to use your own driveway, and the person you're paying decides some days, well, I don't want to let you drive your car home because I'm irritated with you, or I don't like you, or I just want to put pressure on you to do what I want you to do. No one would stand for that in their community, in their own life at home. Yet as a nation, we've been standing for it for decades, and this president has said, no, we're not doing it anymore. I think China's on notice, like their games are going to be over, at least for this next 4 years, and hopefully it's a more enduring as the American people become savvy to what the Communist Party of China has been doing in our own backyard.
Is this just inertia, Congressman? I mean, I don't have any respect or time for Democrats and Joe Biden and the like, but was it just laziness, inability, unwillingness, or a favorability toward China? Maybe that's worst case. That nobody did anything about this prior to Trump? I mean, it just seems obvious.
It is obvious, but I think there's another point to it, which people have a hard time accepting, acknowledging. There's a lot of money to be made in America by cozying up to the Communist Party of China. And there's a lot of Americans that they just think, well, America's always going to exist, but in the meantime, I can make millions of dollars dealing with communists. And in the past, that would be seen as unacceptable. No one would do it because they love their country more than they love making money. And but that's out the window now. And so there's a huge push in Washington, D.C., and financial markets around the country to just kind of overlook what China has in store for America. As long as we're making the money now, we'll let other people work it out later. President Trump has said, no, later is now. We're done with this, and it's not going to happen anymore.
Congressman Scott Perry, yes.
I think this is just the first of many actions against the Communist Party of China that we're going to see.
Let's talk about the tariffs with Mexico and Canada. Our friend Jim Paff at the Conservative Caucus, we have him on from time to time. He said, does anybody realize what Canada realize what Canada charges on tariffs for U.S. products already? Milk, 270%, cheese, 245%, butter, 298%, and on it goes. To his point, to President Trump's point, we pay out the nose to send our stuff to them. They, not so much.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Again, American presidents, American administrations, Democrat and Republican, have just been willing to allow the United States to be abused by our friends to our north and south. And this president came in and took a look at it and said, well, hold on a second here. We make lumber, we make cheese, we make milk. Our dairy producers are going out of business. Our small herd farmers are going out of business. Our farms are being turned into housing developments because farming is no longer profitable. Meanwhile, we should pay Canada? Like, who would do that? Like, look, I guess Canada's got its problems, and we certainly respect that, but that doesn't mean the United States needs to go bankrupt so that they can take care of their issues. They should quit electing socialists up there and get to work. And so I think President Trump sees that rightly. Same thing with Mexico. Look, it's got its problems. We acknowledge that. Quit relying on drug cartels and the narco state. Quit relying on socialist policies and socialist leaders, and get up in the morning and go to work. Why don't we do that instead? And if you can't handle that, well, don't blame the United States of America for it.
Congressman, I've got about 10 seconds or so, but I want to ask you, do you think they come to the table? They say they're going to talk with Trump today. These tariffs go in place tomorrow. Could they buckle today? Do you anticipate that or no?
Oh, they're coming to the table one way or the other. It's just at what cost, right? The longer they wait, the more it costs. But they're coming to the table because Canada's GDP is about the size of Rhode Island, and Mexico's about headed there. So while they're both our biggest trading partners, it's got to be good for America, too.
He is Congressman Scott Perry of the 10th Congressional District of Pennsylvania, one of the stars for we conservatives in Congress. Thank you, sir. Can't wait to have you back real soon.
Thank you. God bless.